you want to go back to an ex-boyfriend, maybe you just want that emotional understanding and you've struggled to find it with anyone else, and even though it clearly wasn't good enough, it's better than nothing, so maybe that's why you go back with them. I think I should have toasted the bread. Emotional attraction is the most important to me because, okay, I might be sexually attracted to someone, but if I'm opening up about my insecurities and then they suddenly talk about something else and change the subject and don't really hear me out, I'm very quickly going to retreat into myself. And that doesn't make me feel sexy, so why am I going to want to be sexy with someone else? It's when I'm feeling that way. When I'm feeling kind of small. Hello. I hope you can see my food. It's taken me about 1 billion years to set this up. Okay, my name's Alessia Southerberry and today we're going to be talking about attraction types whilst I eat. Let me just ease into the video. Don't click off yet. I know I might be a bit rusty to begin with, a bit void of personality, but that's because I haven't filmed in about... Welcome to my channel. I've had a coffee, so that's why I'm shaky. I'm not nervous. Let's see if I remember them. Sexual, romantic, intellectual, aesthetic, emotional, and physical. Ah, got them all. Right, should we try this first before we begin? And also at the end of this video, I'm not gonna put the knife at you. At the end of this video, I thought I'd just talk about my holiday as well, because I've just been on holiday. That's why I didn't post last week. So wait till the end of the video, or skip forward if you're like, I don't care what she has to say about attraction types. Here we have got a bit of paprika, oregano, pepper, and then it's lentils, potatoes, carrots, celery, and this is my favourite thing to put on food. It's been my favourite for a while. It's celery leaves. They are so aromatic. Oh my god, it just makes everything so good. I'm really excited. And the bread is olive bread. Sorry, I'm a bit shaky. I've just had a coffee. I want it to be like energetic for you, but it's kind of propelling me into a slight bit of anxiety, but it's okay. As soon as I film, I start to feel better. Okay. I think I'm going off olives. I need to make sure my hair stays like this. Okay, so let's get into the video. Types of attraction. So the first one is sexual, and that's the one that everyone thinks about. And I think because we live in quite a superficial world, that's the one that we're kind of pushed to think about first or talk about first. I've got a little list of bullet points. So sexual attraction is if you want to have like a sexual connection with the person, kiss. So some words associated is lust, arousal. Also with this type of attraction, you can feel it for several people, even being in a relationship. Sexual attraction is probably, in my opinion, one of the easiest to form. I think I should have toasted the bread, but I had baked beans yesterday on non-toasted sourdough and it was beautiful with butter. Gotta stay hydrated as well. I've got the angle bang on. You can see this and this. Lucky you. Okay, so the next type of attraction is romantic, and it's kind of, as it sounds, like all of them, kind of self-explanatory. You want to be in a relationship with them. It's very different to sexual attraction, but usually romantic attraction and sexual attraction are what convince people to be like, oh, I want to be in a relationship with this person because I want to have sex with them, but also I want to be with them and I like who they are. If you are someone, or you know someone who doesn't really experience this type of attraction, wanting to get into relationships, then they might be aromantic. Also, I do think it's typical that guys are like commitment phobes and they don't want to get into relationships. That's different from being aromantic, just to say. I'm just going to speed through the different attraction types because then I've got some quite insightful things to say about them. Physical. Physical might sound like sexual, but it's different. They share similarities, but it's more about kind of holding hands, hugging, holding an arm around one another. As humans, we're designed to crave physical touch. So we are designed to be kind of social creatures. I think this is kind of unavoidable, but at the same time, you might be someone like me that experiences sensation overload and just not want to be touched at certain times. It's these leaves. They are so good. I should have put spring onions on them. I have got some spring onion over there. I actually almost finished it. I only had a little bit of the spring onion left. And I put it in a glass of water because I saw on TikTok that you can just regrow the spring onion. It does take a few weeks, but let me show you. So the spring onion was like this short, and now look. Actually, this is slightly disappointing. I've got a much better one that I'll put photos up after I've shown you this. It looked better a few weeks ago, but I've done this before and I've had a much better result. So I'll show you that now. From what I've found, because I spent a while researching this, this is all information that I found from professionals and psychologists and on Psychology Today. I'm just sharing the knowledge that I've acquired from other people. But yeah, what I've noticed is that these attraction types can apply to platonic relationships as well. So your best mates, you might desire physical touch from them too, just like a hug to make you feel desired as a friend and feel valued as a friend. I certainly do. I love it when my friends will like touch my knee and be like, oh, you look really beautiful today, or oh, are you okay, or like just rub your shoulder. I love those kind of things, as long as it's, I'll admit I feel more, I want that more from women, but with my male friends, just because of the background and sexism and violence against women, male violence against women, I would prefer men to just not touch me. Unless I really trust them, but there are men that I trust that I still don't really feel comfortable with them touching me in any kind of way. I don't know. Yeah, the reason why I said that, God, this is such a, I'm gonna get back onto the video in just a second. The reason why I said male violence against women is because violence against women is such a passive way of talking about the actual situation. It's kind of avoiding the predator in the situation. This isn't my thought, this is not an original thought from me. This is from a podcast. I'll put it up here, a Jamila Jamil one. Anyway, so what I'm drinking now is TikTok, and it's basically like green tea, but it's less flavorful. It's more kind of like diluted and easier to drink, I'd say. I'd say with green tea, it can sometimes leave a bit of a bitter taste in your mouth. This is basically your solution if you don't like that bitter taste that green tea leaves. Sorry, I shouldn't have had that coffee. It's completely set me off. One more bite and then we'll go on to emotional attraction, which in my opinion is the most important to me and the most interesting. Really nice. Okay, so emotional, feeling connected to someone, and you're attracted to someone's heart and their mind, their personality and their spirit. If you're emotionally attracted to someone, you'll have that kind of feeling of safety and being able to open up to them and feeling deeply understood. You can kind of bond over your hopes and dreams and desires and life experiences and past relationships. What I thought was really interesting that I read online is that with emotional attraction, you don't need to have like had the same experiences in life and have a shared history. You just need to have a understanding of feeling a certain way. So for example, maybe you've grown up being a bit of a people pleaser and empathetic and a bit of an introvert. That is going to mean that you might connect with someone who has similar feelings. You don't necessarily have had to have grown up with the same people surrounding you and had the same kind of damaging experiences or life-altering experiences. You just need to be able to connect to that one feeling, being like, yeah, I don't feel good enough unless I do things for people, unless I buy things for people, unless I just listen to everyone's problems and drain myself. I don't feel good unless I'm providing a service. I don't feel good enough just being me and taking up space. Okay, aesthetic attraction is exactly as it sounds. It's all about visuals. You like how someone looks. And this is largely learned through socialization. I really wanted to mention this. I think our idea of beauty has somewhat been directed and we have been shown what beautiful is. We don't really get to decide. The saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, is a load of rubbish in my opinion, because we are shown images of beauty and told this is beauty, this is beauty, this is beauty over and over again in films, in school, hearing, boys say, oh, she's hot, she's not. God, that was actually a thing. We lived such toxic upbringings. So yeah, I just wanted to say, beauty is not in the eye of the beholder, it's in the eye of the media. That's what my partner said yesterday. You know what, I never call in my partner unless I'm filming a YouTube video. I don't know why I do that. Okay, the last one is intellectual attraction. It's basically you liking how a person thinks and you craving chatting to someone and enjoying a conversation with someone and enjoying how their mind works and how they view the world. My brother, I think he just burped. It's kind of gross, but it's not gonna put me off my food. This is kind of what I have for breakfast all the time, just stuff on sourdough. Usually veggies. I can't believe it's Christmas in a few days. It's Wednesday today. I'm probably gonna get this up on tomorrow evening, Thursday. If it's not gone up on Thursday, comment down below and tell me off for being a slacker. Really hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, please subscribe and comment down below. So with these attraction types, the reason why I think they're so useful is because I think they can help you analyze past relationships and maybe where you've gone wrong and why things haven't worked out. One activity that I think could be quite useful if you're in a relationship, or even if you're single, is to rate the attraction styles as what's most important to you and what's least. So sexual might be the most important to you right now in your life, and that's okay. I think that's cool. For me right now, the most important type of attraction that I want to be feeling for my partner is emotional, then intellectual. Intellectual because I'm really growing in that field. I'm seeing myself as an intelligent person, which for a long time I didn't feel. I've spoken about this loads on my channel, so I won't go into lots of detail, but I certainly viewed myself as pretty dumb, and now I'm really stepping into my power, into my voice. I'm using my voice, sorry, I'm not stepping into my voice. I'm passionate about certain things and I want to talk about them, and that requires my partner being able to talk about them with me and ask me insightful questions. And that's another thing. Insightful questions, meaningful questions, being genuinely interested in someone is so important to me, and that's emotional attraction. I'm kind of done with being at those like dinner parties or going on dates with people. Obviously I'm not single, so I don't go on dates with people anymore. I'm kind of done with those situations where you're fighting for the microphone. Well, I did this. Oh, this happened to me. This is my version of the story. I would rather be like, oh, and where did you go? How did that make you feel? And vice versa. People ask me the questions, invite me to open up, and then that's when I do it. I don't want to be shouting over each other, fighting for the attention. So that's why emotional connection, emotional attraction is so important to me, because I want someone to be genuinely interested in who I am and encourage me to talk about it. Yeah. If you put intellectual attraction at the top of your list of importance, if you're in a relationship, that might help your partner to understand how they can make you feel better in the relationship and more connected to you. So for example, your partner might strike up more conversations about the things that you're passionate about and interested in. Maybe you're struggling to feel intellectually attracted to your partner. Maybe a really good way to steer them in the right direction is to give them a book that you really enjoyed, that you find really interesting, and say maybe in your free time you could read it. I think that's why this is quite useful. The one thing I don't like about this is it's very boxy and kind of categorizing something that kind of should be very intuitive, you know. Do I feel attracted to this person? Do I want to spend time with this person? Okay, yeah, my body is telling me I'm safe with this person. I feel good with this person. I feel like I can speak about myself, so I'm going to be in a relationship with them, or I want to spend lots of time with them. I think intuition is the most important thing. So if you find this annoying, I'm kind of labeling things and categorizing things. I get you, but at the same time, it's just easier to digest when we break it down, and as humans we love to do that. So that's why I'm doing it, but obviously intuition is the most important thing. But sometimes it's just very useful to break things down. Like for example, I was thinking, sun's come out. Guns come out. With aesthetic attraction, I feel like when I was at school, aesthetic attraction was the only thing I was concerned with, because at school I didn't know myself. I didn't have a clue about what I was interested in, what I could talk about, what it was like to feel safe with someone. So I just went for who am I going to be most attracted to. Sexual attraction, not sure. At school I was pretty scared about sex. So yeah, I think my younger relationship, aesthetic attraction was the most important, but now that's probably one of the least important things, because I think that I become more attracted to someone, and I read online that this is a thing, when I start to feel deeply connected to them and emotionally understood, and I emotionally understand them and their nature. For me personally, I never liked to write people off, because I'm not feeling sexually or physically attracted to them, because I think that can really develop when you learn how beautiful someone is inside, because that just radiates outside. And you've got to remember that we're all kind of brainwashed. We all see beauty in this very one way, and I don't think it's actually how we deep down view beauty. Apparently attraction types can alter as time goes on, as you get to know someone more. So you might be in a relationship with someone, and at the beginning it might be all about sex, and you might be really physically and sexually and aesthetically attracted to them, and that might fade. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to end the relationship. They were basically saying, this psychologist was saying, you might just need to take a break and be honest, and maybe take your sex life into your own hands for the moment. So masturbate, and then it might come back again. But also you might just find that that sexual attraction slowly fades. Why does this one taste so much better than the other one? Can you comment below? Can you almost choke them? Can you comment below? Why can't I speak? Can you comment below and tell me what you have been having for breakfast at the moment? And if you're like me and you're just obsessed with one format of breakfast, because mine's the bread and veg. So we just take a moment to do a deep breath in. I thought this was really interesting. I was reading that someone can be in love with someone but not sexually attracted to them. And then I was thinking, well, that must mean that love, if we're talking about attraction types, is basically just about kind of like emotional attraction and romantic attraction. This is something that I want to read out because I thought it was a good way of summing it up. Although Hollywood would have us believe that true love starts with people being drawn together like magnets when they first meet in typical Romeo and Juliet style, it can take time to develop this physical attraction as you get to know each other mentally and emotionally first. When people talk about, oh, have you got the attraction, the spark? I think the spark for me comes when I learn that that person has gone through a lot of stuff and they've started journaling, or they've grown up being a bit of a people pleaser, or they're quite empathetic. I just think the most unattractive thing that makes me feel kind of repulsed by someone is someone who's really like narcissistic and can only talk about themselves, or just, relates everything back to their experiences. And genuinely that seeps into the sexual attraction part of things, and it will turn me off. So if you're in a long-term relationship, there are things that you can ask yourself that kind of relate to these attraction types that can help you really self-reflect and analyze the relationship. So you could ask yourself, do I value other things over sexual attraction, like emotional attraction? How does that fall into my relationship? Did I have different needs now to when I started the relationship? I think that's a really important thing you should constantly evaluate in relationships, or something that I definitely like to do anyway, because we're ever-changing humans. I think we should never accept that we know someone. Me and my partner the other day, there we go again with partner. Me and my boyfriend the other day found ourselves saying, oh yeah, I know you, I just know you inside and out. Which is true to an extent, but at the same time, I always want to leave room for more understanding. Otherwise, I'm going to stop asking him questions. And every day he's learning new things. Every day he's meeting new people, and, well, maybe not every day, but a lot of the time. So he's going to be changing. So I'm never going to stop making the effort to get to know him. Why am I talking about that? Can you pause the video now, scroll down and comment below what types of attraction are the most important to you, and what types of attraction do you think are the most important to create a solid foundation for a long-term relationship? You can have one type or two. For me, emotional, intellectual are the most important, but I guess romantic. They're all kind of important, but what do you think is the most important? And could you live without the kind of sexual, physical? Can you just tell me? I'm so interested in this. Researching about these attraction types got me really reflecting, which is why I thought everyone needs to hear about this, or just consider this for a second, because they're going to have a lot of aha moments if they're anything like me. I was reflecting on a relationship, and I was thinking, wow, that's why I got back with my ex-boyfriend. So I really crave emotional attraction and emotional understanding, which is why I think when I first got to uni, which was a very lonely thing. Anyone who's at uni now who's feeling lonely, completely get you. Comment down below. I'll give you some advice, or I'll just share some of my experiences with you. But yeah, I was really craving like understanding, and that's basically what emotional attraction is: feeling understood deeply and appreciated. And that's what I wanted. And I didn't really know many people very well at university in first year. Felt very alone. Cried a lot on the phone to my mum. So I got back with an ex-boyfriend. Yeah, this person was a familiar face, someone that got me more than people at university did because of the length of time we spent together. So yeah, that was emotional attraction, that was craving, and that would have been why I got back with him. And I do think that, particularly women, we crave emotional understanding because we emotionally understand ourselves, because we feel like we can be in our feels a lot more, because men are told, you know, not to be emotional, to be very kind of doers and sporty and have sex. But as women, we're allowed a bit more space, I think, to be emotional, although we're also criticised for being over emotional. Such a messed up world that we live in. But what I was going to say is, because we're so emotionally intelligent, a lot of us, there are emotionally intelligent men too, but yeah, because a lot of us women are so in touch with our emotions, I think we want to talk about them because we want to get that release and we want to be understood. So I think a lot of us will jump into relationships, or a lot of people like me will jump into relationships where they do feel emotionally understood, but maybe the physical or sexual side of things doesn't really exist for you. If you want to go back to an ex-boyfriend, maybe you just want that emotional understanding and you've struggled to find it with anyone else, and even though it clearly wasn't good enough, it's better than nothing, so maybe that's why you go back with them. The thing is, you can get emotional understanding from friends. We forget that platonic relationships can provide us with, you know, physical attraction, physical connection, emotional connection. Even sexual, if you're freaky. Actually, I'm not going to drink that because there's lots of bits from the kettle in it. What's that called? Scaly light. That's definitely not it. I think if you've grown up feeling misunderstood, shy, introverted, a bit of a people pleaser, there's a strong chance that you really desire to be kind of emotionally deeply understood by someone, in a romantic way, but also in a platonic way. And I think sometimes when you're so desperate to be seen properly and appreciated, when you do finally get that, you'll just want it. It doesn't matter if it isn't the full package. You will just jump into that relationship. Maybe. I don't know. I wrote this down. If you haven't been afforded emotional understanding much by anyone, you seek it in partners. That's great, but I think you also run the risk of being with someone you're not sexually attracted to, someone you're not physically attracted to, maybe not even romantically. Basically, it's all about your needs. You want to feel a certain way, so you're looking to someone else to do that for you. So it can get a bit nitty. Oh, is it suddenly a lot quieter in here? Emotional attraction is the most important to me because, okay, I might be sexually attracted to someone, but if I'm opening up about my insecurities and they suddenly talk about something else and change the subject and don't really hear me out, I'm very quickly going to retreat into myself. And that doesn't make me feel sexy, so why am I going to want to be sexy with someone else? It's when I'm feeling that way, when I'm feeling kind of small. Nina Rubin, who's a relationship coach and life coach, said, if you want to build love that lasts, think about a skyscraper. Create a foundation first. Create your foundation down deep, then enjoy the superficial stuff later. I think that's just quite a succinct way to put it. At the same time, you might just be sexually attracted to someone first, pursue things, and then build an emotional connection. Either way, I just think emotional connections are so important. I want you to let me know what you think, so if you have any thoughts on this, let me know. Vegan butter on the bread makes it. I'm feeling a little bit more grounded in myself again after eating. I just think coffee sometimes can do you dirty. So for those of you that have stayed, I'm guessing you either really love my video, thank you, please subscribe, or you want to hear about my holiday. I went to Fuerteventura. I'm going to put up some photos now. It was so fun. It was really warm. It was really weird being in another, like in a hot country at Christmas time. It was 26 degrees there one day, and here in England it's been like the coldest I think it's ever been in my lifetime. So yeah, we stayed at this hostel for a few days, which was really fun because then it meant that we got to meet, I went with my partner, it meant that we got to meet lots of people, which was so nice. And it gave me a lot of confidence, actually. A lot of my confidence back, I'd say. I found myself. I'm joking. I certainly grew a little bit, or learned that I could ignite my confidence flame again that had kind of diminished a little bit since kind of COVID and stuff that went on in my life. So that was really nice. I met people from France, people from Germany, lots of Italians, which was lovely. Not many Spanish people, or Fuerteventurians, I guess that's what they're called. But yeah, we were there. We went and watched the England game with this guy from the hostel who was also English, and we met another guy who was English. If I'm honest, one of them was very happy to take the conversation and make it his own and not really include us. So we spent time with this guy, and he gradually just became more confident to just talk purely about himself. He didn't ask me one thing, so he doesn't know that I do YouTube, so I can talk about him. But yeah, we went on this night out in the end with him after the England match. And he was just being really touchy-feely in front of my partner. And I was just like, and it made me realise that I really need to grow in this area. I really struggled to say no to guys. I don't mean I obviously wasn't doing anything, but I kind of just froze and stared at my partner being like, come over and take me away. Because I can't turn to him and be like, I don't fancy you. Because I've learned to not bruise men's egos like all women. We've learned to be so conscious of their egos that we'll sit in discomfort for so long and also kind of jeopardise our relationship. Luckily, my partner didn't get angry with me about that, but he so could have. It's so hard to be like, you're not my type, or I'm in a relationship and I don't want to get with you. So that's something I wrote down in my diary that I want to become more confident in and more unapologetic with. Just saying to guys, look, no, go away, and not worry about how that makes them feel, because what they're doing is making me feel rubbish. But yeah, that happened. We surfed a lot, and it was kind of frustrating because the first day I surfed quite well and I felt quite confident, and I'm so competitive. When I say I surfed well, I mean for the beginner group I surfed well. But then the last 3 days, I did not surf well. I barely stood up, and it was so annoying, and I get so frustrated, and I think surfing is the one sport that I get most frustrated in. So I just kept falling off the board. On the last day of surfing, which shouldn't have been the last day, I dropped my surfboard on my boyfriend's foot, and it's still hurting him now. His foot still hurts, and it's purple. I think I've broken it, but he doesn't want to go to hospital because of kind of like, he thinks he's going to be there for hours, which could definitely be the case. But yeah, it meant that we didn't go surfing the day after. We had one more day of lessons, which sucked. And these weren't like your like small surfboards that you're thinking of. We're beginners. They were thick, heavy boards. I say we're beginners. I've surfed probably like 3 or 4 times. I had a lot of really good vegan food in Fuerteventura. We had a lot of marinara pizzas, which is basically just tomato and oregano. Really nice though, really rich tomato sauce. So don't worry, it's not really plain for those of you that are thinking. I also had these like tacos. Oh my God, they were so good. I can't even describe them, but I'll show you a photo of them now. Also had a, what's it called? It's a type of pizza. It's folded pizza, and it was so good. It was like really thick, filled with lots of stuff. The highlight in terms of food was definitely this Italian restaurant, which was owned by an Italian family, which made it feel even more wholesome and lovely and like a good place to put your money into. I just hate spending money in places where like people make you feel unwelcome, or people are short with you and rude to you, like the waiters. Or I get it, like sometimes you've been on shift for ages, I've had that too, and you're knackered and you're not really feeling like being smiley, but when people are like go out of their way to be a little bit short and nasty, that does not make me feel good, especially when I'm being really smiley. But anyway, these people were so lovely, And there was a nonna behind, bossing her son around a little bit, but he loved it. Just that Italian culture was just so present, and I felt so at home. And I had this cake that felt really nostalgic. It felt like a proper, my nonna baked this cake for me cake, which I'll put a photo up of now. It had apple and like a lemon curdy situation in it, which was delicious. And it was just so, yeah, classic Italian. And before that, oh my gosh, I had I think it's a rice roll. It was stunning. It had like this mango and sweet chili sauce with mint. Without that, it wouldn't have been great. But I love rice rolls because they're so chewy, and I love chewy food. Oh, it was so yummy. And my boyfriend ordered this, basically this dish that you could have probably got in the UK, so he was a bit gutted. It was still lovely though. Did I have anything else? Oh yeah, my boyfriend ordered this beer, which 100% of the profits go to this like ocean charity, I think, which was really nice, but it actually tasted quite good, and I'm usually not a fan of beer. Like I would never drink a bottle of beer, but that one I might have actually just drank, which is crazy. Also, there was this really cute cat, who I think I heard the owner call People, but I'm not 100% sure. And there was this huge dog called Bruce. That's what I named him. He just looked like a Bruce. But yeah, on the last 2 days, we went to this apartment that was so pretty. And when I woke up in the morning, the sun was rising because it was south facing. So the sun was rising and coming up through the kitchen. It was just this orange haze, and it was so beautiful. I can also show you a video of that now. But the apartment was stunning, and we managed to get it for £100 for 2 nights. Considering how stunning it was, all white walls, it just felt so spacious and clean. And after the hostel, that was quite nice. Not that the hostel was really dirty, it just wasn't really clean. We actually messaged, my boyfriend messaged the person who like owned it's not an Airbnb, it was like an apartment, hotel-y vibe, but it wasn't a hotel, it was an apartment. He messaged him being like, if you ever think about selling it, hit me up. I mean, we're not going to do that, but it was tempting just because it was so beautiful in there. And I just love big windows, and I love really light rooms. I think I always work better and feel so much better when I'm in a light space. Dark spaces are not the one for me. They make me feel really deflated and really affect my mood. Anything else about me holiday? Oh my gosh. So one morning, me and my boyfriend got up and we went for a swim, which was so nice. It was freezing. It was quite early. Really, really cold. The tide was really far out, so we had to kind of climb on these rocks. Bearing in mind, my boyfriend had a dodgy foot by then because I dropped my surfboard on it. And we like dived in, but cold water, I really want to do cold water therapy, but I don't have one of those like fridge ice bar things to do it in. I guess you can just do it in the shower, but I always get like demotivated to do it in the shower for some reason because I could just switch it on. But yeah, it felt so good. I think it's so good for my mental health, cold water. So we dived in, then came out quite quickly, and we walked across the rocks, and we saw some crabs, and we saw this underwater sluggy snail guy. He was huge. My boyfriend spotted him. I was very proud of him. So we did that a little bit, which felt really good and grounding because we were really connecting with nature and really present. And before we went in the water, we did a meditation. Well, we just did deep breaths, but that's meditation. And it was really lovely. And part of me was like, oh, there are people starting to arrive and walk past us. Maybe we shouldn't do this. But I thought, do you know what? I bet people aren't going to look at me and judge me. They're going to look at me and think, wow, that looks really lovely and peaceful. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have the confidence to do a meditation in public. And I want to encourage people to meditate as much as I can. So I'm going to unapologetically meditate on the beach more often, although I'm back in England, so that might have to wait. But it was such a wonderful start to the morning. Then after the swim, we went, God, this is a full-blown explanation. If you're still watching, thanks. I can do this kind of thing more often. I kind of need a number 2. Can't believe I said that on YouTube. I used to be so embarrassed about pooping, but then being with my now partner, he's made me a lot more confident about it. But yeah, we went to this coffee shop, got a coffee, Before that, actually, we went and got some croissants from the local supermarket, vegan croissants, and a pot of jam, and we just ate it at the side on the street. And then we went to this cafe, had a coffee. The lady wasn't particularly nice, actually. I don't think she really liked us, but hey, we were English-speaking people who didn't know much Spanish, so it's pretty ignorant, and I can understand why that's kind of annoying. But anyway, she served us a great coffee, so I was very quickly like, I'm really glad we came here. I had a really nice iced coffee, and I've got a video of that too. And we read our books. I just fell in love with reading even more this holiday. Do you know what? I was so proud of myself for finishing my book so quickly as well. Like, young Alessia really struggled with reading. And I think it's because I've got ADHD. So I really struggle to concentrate on my book when there's other things going on. But I just managed to really delve into it, and it's probably because it's a good book as well. I was reading Paulo Coelho. I can't remember, but I'll put a photo of it up now. Stunning book. And before that, I was actually reading Expectation, which is a really good book. It was quite sad to come back. I would have loved to have had a few more days in that wonderful apartment. And actually cooked there, because we didn't really cook the whole time because the food there was so cheap. Like, that marinara pizza we had probably like 4 or 5 times. It was a £5. In London, I'm not in London now, by the way. I'm actually at my home in the Cotswolds, my family home, because it's Christmas time soon. But yeah, in London, we usually spend like 11 quid on ingredients for one meal for 2. I really need to go to the loo, so I'm gonna have to cut this video a little bit shorter than I would have liked. I would have liked to have told you more. I would have liked to have told you about the place that we ate our pizzas most nights, on the beach. We just got takeaway, sat on the beach, and there was a live musician, a guitarist who was amazing, according to my musical boyfriend. And there were lots of candles everywhere because we were surrounded by restaurants, but we were on the beach with the sound of the sea, and we'd eat our pizzas, and it was stunning. I have just told you that. So that's good. Anyway, I'm sure there's more I could tell you. If you're curious, then you can message me on Instagram. My Instagram is the same as my YouTube, Alessia Sothebyberry. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you so much for watching to the end if you have. You are a legend. And let me know if you liked the eating vibe alongside me chatting. I felt a bit rusty filming because I haven't filmed in so long. But I'm in a really good mood having done this. So yeah, lots of love.